know you've been sticking around for a while.
I was down in L.A.
Okay.
On Fifth Street.
Right.
I saw you all down there. But I wanted to get back.
Okay.
And talk. And then I was just, but then everyone left because I think you all went on the metro down, down to just wherever else you was going. I was trying to figure out where I could connect down there when I'm down there.
So do you stay in LA or you stay in Sacramento?
I'm taking care of my mom in Sacramento, but I go down there a lot.
So how long you been knowing this information? Because when I was talking to you, you said that you was talking to the Nation of Islam and the 5 percenters, and it all led to this, right?
Well, right now, this is the first time I talk with you.
So watch this. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12 real quick. Because God calls this place Babylon, right? You know what that stands for? I give it to you. Babylon represents confusion. So we're in a land of a lot of confusion. Our people that's in the Nation of Islam, what's his name? Muhammad, he got our people confused, right? Farrakhan Muhammad, he got our people confused. That's why when you look at all those mosques, ain't nothing getting better. We're getting worse and worse and worse. And guess what? They not addressing the issues that we deal with. You got some of our people that consider themselves 5 percenters, but guess what? When you examine ourselves as a nation, we're getting worse and worse and worse. The youth don't have no respect for the elders, and the elders then gave up. You know why? Because we ain't keeping God's commandments. Watch this. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 12.
Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books, there is no end.
So of making many books, there's no end. Now, when you bring that up to today, that's talking about different religions. When it comes to making many books about God, there's no end. Right? Watch this. Read on.
And much study is a weariness of the flesh.
And when you be trying to dive into all these different ideologies, all these different doctrines, God said it's going to be a weary of flesh. Because at the end of the day, all it's doing is separating you from the truth. It's separating you from your nationality, separating you from your salvation. Read.
Verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
What's your name, family? Brother Albert, right? What's your name, little sis? You said Pia? Mia, okay. So Brother Albert and Sister Mia. Read that again.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
So this is the whole reason why we was created, right? This is the whole reason why you got breath in your lungs, right? Read.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
The whole reason why we exist is because we're supposed to fear God and keep his commandments, right? Now I got a question. How can you fear God or how can you keep God's commandments if you've never been taught them? You can't, right? That's what our job is to do. Our job is to teach you God's commandments. Because once you learn God's commandments, something happens. Give me Psalms 111 and 10. I'm going to show you something, right? Is there more on that? Read.
For this is the whole duty of man.
That's our whole duty. That's why we was created. And you can see how why the world is so evil is because we're not doing what we was created to do. Therefore, we live in the slums, the ghettos, and at the bottom of society. Our households are out of order. A lot of us deal with mental anger because we're not keeping what we was commanded to do. Watch this. Give me give me Psalms 111 and 10.
Book of Psalms.
And I got a question. What questions have you had about the Bible? Or what questions do you got about the Israelites?
There you go. Wow, this
because that's what we are here to do. We are here to answer questions.
There's one that I've been having a long time about how with Adam, Adam being the first son, and then God,
how was Adam the first son?
I got confused when we started, Noah and everything.
Right.
The sons of Noah. And then also Adam, and then I'm trying to figure out where we're at with that. I just got really confused,
So what are you confused on? We got Adam, and then you got Noah. Noah came generations after Adam. So where's the confusion at?
I was taught on the original side that since we have been before that, I figured that we was before Noah.
Right. So watch this. Give me Exodus 4 and 22, right? So we were before Noah. Right? So watch this. Read this.
How about Adam and Eve? Were we before Adam and Eve?
We was in the heavens. We was in the heavens with the Father. Y'all got to get that for me in 2nd Ezra. When we was in the heavens and nobody said anything against the Lord.
2nd Ezra 9:18.
9 and 18. So all of us was in the heavens at one point, right? But when God created the earth and stuff, Adam was the first creation, and we all come from Adam. Watch this. Give me that. Well, I know I got you all over the place. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 54. Watch it.
Go. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6.
So we're going to touch this because the Christian church, they can't explain this. They can't explain this information. So we're going to touch on it, and I'm going to give you something tangible so the information can retain. Right, watch this, read this.
2nd Ezra 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam, also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures.
So Adam was Lord over all creatures. When Adam was on the earth, he ruled over everything that had breath in it, right? Watch this, read on.
Of him come we all.
And we all descend from Adam, right? We all come from Adam, right? Read.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
But we're that chosen lineage that comes from Adam. Because Adam had other people as well too. But we're that chosen lineage that came from Adam. Watch this. Exodus 4 and 22. Watch this. So we're God's chosen people. We all descend from Adam. We're the sons of God. Watch this. Read this.
The book of Exodus chapter 4 and verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son.
So the Israelites is the sons of God, right? Read.
Even my firstborn.
So we the firstborn. So we've been chosen from the beginning. We've been chosen from the beginning. But watch this. Genesis chapter 6, verse 2. I'm going to show you what happened and why it seemed like we're not chosen. I'm going to show you what happened back then, and I'm going to bring it up to today. That makes sense? You follow? Watch this, read on.
Genesis chapter 6 and verse 2. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men.
So who's the sons of God? That's us. That was us, right? But I'm going to show you how we went off from the beginning. Watch this, read it again.
That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took to them wives of all which they chose.
So did you catch that?
Yeah, that's the dealing with the other.
We went into adultery. We started dealing with fornication. We started dealing with the other nations.
Right.
It says the sons of God start dealing with the sons of men. Or not the daughters of men. That's what happened. We went off. So to answer your question, we always been around. But when we went off, guess what happened to us? We went into slavery. That's how we went into slavery the first time under Egypt.
Right.
That's what happened. That makes sense? If it don't make sense, we're going to clear it up. What's up?
Didn't Jesus, he condemned them though, right?
No. Give me John chapter 8, verse 46. That was in the Ashkenazis. That was not in John chapter 8, verse 46. That was in the Ashkenazi. That was our people. That was our people. Watch this. Go to John chapter 8, verse 43. So Christ condemned the scribes and the Pharisees because they didn't believe in the Messiah. They didn't believe in the Messiah. So watch this. Give me John chapter 8, verse 31.
John chapter 8, verse 31.
Uh-huh.
Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him.
So Christ was having a conversation with some Jews, right? You had some that believed on him, and you had the scribes and the Pharisees that did not. Read.
If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
So he's saying if we continue in the word, then we was his disciples, right? Jump down to verse 44.
Verse 13 is it. Verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth.
So he was talking to the scribes and the Pharisees because they didn't believe in God. So he was condemning them right then and there, right? Read. But this was talking about our people that didn't accept Christ. Watch this, read.
Because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Verse 45. And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not.
So that's what the issue was. They didn't believe Christ. They act like they believed him, but they did not believe Christ. Read.
Verse 46. Which of you convinces me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of God, hears God's word. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God.
So the scribes and the Pharisees was not trying to deal with Christ no matter how much he was trying to convince them. That's what was going on. So he was condemning the scribes and Pharisees, but it was Jews that believed on him. That's what it said in verse 31, right? So that makes sense?
Yeah.
Or where the confusion at?
Because he said that you could be the disciple, so then you couldn't be a disciple if you were just condemned.
Right, right. So you got a remnant of our people that know that they Israel that's not going to believe, and you got a remnant of our people that know that they Israel that's actually going to believe.
Right.
Give me that John 4 and 21. John 4 and 21. Watch it.
I got to get back to my mom.
I got you. And my brother had a good question, right? He said, why did the Native Americans wear fringes? Why did y'all wear fringes? So the Native Americans, right? When you look throughout history, right? They had a unique dress code. They didn't dress like the European nations at all. You know,
Why did they wear what?
fringes.
Oh, fringes. Oh, yeah.
Why did they wear that? And where did they get that from? You know?
Wow. On that side, on that tribe, I don't know on that one. All I know is that we used to wrap and we had the circle for the women for the circle of life on the bottom. But I didn't know nothing about the fringes.
So the fringes, all that came from the Bible.
Right.
All that came from the Bible. Scratch that. What I had you give?
You have me John 4:21. That's what you have me hold.
What that say? Read that.
John 4, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
Jesus said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father.
Uh-huh.
Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Read on.
But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
Uh-huh.
For the Father seeketh such to worship him.
So Christ said it was going to come a time where the true worshipers would worship in spirit and in truth, right? The scribes and the Pharisees, they didn't want to do that, right? So it was going to come a time where a remnant of Israel, they was going to worship in spirit and in truth, meaning that they would do away with animal sacrifice and Christ would be the way of salvation. That makes sense?
Just on the spirit and the,
Right, because they didn't want to accept Christ as being the Savior. They didn't want to say the exception. So he said it was going to come a time where you're going to have true worshipers that worship in spirit and in truth, not under animal sacrifice. Right. That makes sense? All right. Well, we good on that, right? All right. Now let's deal with these fringes and why y'all have fringes. Watch this. Watch this. So you got Northern Kingdom, right? That's the Hispanics and Native Americans. You say you come from the tribe of Gad, right?
Yeah, that's northern.
Right, all Hispanics and Native Americans, they would fall under the banner of being Northern Kingdom. Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, Gad, so on and so forth, right? But when the Pilgrims came over here, right? When the Spaniards or the British came over here, right? They noticed that you guys were dressed like the Jews out in Israel, right? You know why y'all had those customs out here? I'm gonna show you why. 2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. I'm going to show y'all how y'all came here. Because with philosophy, they said that the Native Americans, they came through the Bering Strait and so on and so forth, right? But when you go through their own science, nothing could have survived that. So that doctrine is error. The Bible documents how y'all got out here. Watch this, read this.
2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, who Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive.
So this was the 10 tribes is talking about the northern kingdom, right? At one point y'all was in captivity under the Assyrians, right? And then under the Babylonians, right? But then when the Persians came into power, that gave the Israelites leave to go home. So instead of northern kingdom going back to Jerusalem, they wanted to go somewhere else. And the passage is going to explain more of it. Watch this, read on.
And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel amongst themselves.
So when they was getting ready to go back home, they counseled among themselves, right? This is all the heads of the tribe of the northern kingdom. They took counsel and discussed the matter amongst themselves. Read.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
So they took counsel. They said, listen, we about to get away from these heathens. We about to get away from our brothers. We about to go somewhere where no man dwells. Read.
Verse 42. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Because initially, the purpose of them going over to the Americas, they said they wanted to keep their statutes where they could not keep them in the land of the Assyrians or in the land of the Babylonians. They couldn't keep the commandments there. So that's why they wanted to go to a further country. Read.
Verse 43.
Uh-huh.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
So it says that they entered through the Euphrates, right? The Euphrates is next to Israel. So we enter into the Euphrates, right? Let me see, where is it at over here? So that's like, kind of like in this area right here. The Euphrates, that's what we did, right? So you got to imagine that, right? A whole bunch of Israelites docking in the Euphrates with ships, right? Read.
Verse 44.
Uh-huh.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So with this voyage, it took a great long time. It says maybe a year and a half. So throughout that year and a half, you was getting tribes dropped off in Central America, South America, so on and so forth, right? Because it took time, right? Watch this, read on.
And the same region is called Arsaris.
So God records that place as Arsaris, right? So watch this. Anybody got the Jewish encyclopedia? Nobody got that? Yeah. So it says the place that y'all would go to would be called, you remember it? Arsaris, right? Watch this. Come on up, since we're talking about your history. Come on up.
The Mexican brother. I got it.
He told you about that? You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Watch what the scholars know about the land that y'all went to come dwell in. Watch this, read this.
Said Arsaris, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses.
So, brother, did you catch that part? You following along?
Yes.
Read it again so our brother got it. Read it.
Arsaris, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses.
So, when y'all came over here, y'all was trying to observe the laws of Moses. Keep that in mind. Read.
Until the time of the restoration, according to 4th Esdras 13, verse 45. Columbus identified America with this land.
So see what happened? It says Columbus identified America with the land of Arsaris, right? So Arsaris is the Americas. That's where y'all came to go dwell. That was the land that y'all no man dwelt before. But watch this. I'm gonna show you something, right? Watch this. Hold on, Officer Ryan. Hold on. Watch this. What was y'all point behind coming out here? What did y'all want to do?
Trying to preserve the righteous laws.
Give me Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. I'm going to show y'all some of the things that y'all was keeping out there. Watch this. Read it.
Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel.
So this is talking about the Israelites, right? Read.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So the Israelites was given that commandment to make them fringes in the borders of their garments, right? Read.
Throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
And that's why when you look, and that's just one picture, but if you do your research, a lot of the Native American tribes, they had this custom. They was keeping that, and they took it all the way from Israel. They got these customs all the way from Israel. Read.
Verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them.
So that was the purpose of the fringes, to remember all the commandments of God and do them, right? What you think happened though? What happened with y'all? If y'all came over here initially to keep God's commandments, what you think happened? Where y'all went to the left at?
We had our spiritual people that kept right. The other ones that went way out the side of the box, they took off and went further out, and then started becoming more and more naked.
I like that. You said you had our spiritual people that was trying to keep the commandments, but then you had some that went all the way up, right?
It was rooted in our spiritual people, like Quatley and, you know, Sitting Bull and all them. They were solid and they could see. And that's why they said don't take on none of their things. It's all poison. It's bad.
Watch this. I'm going to show you what happened. Because what you're saying is biblical. Give me Hosea chapter 9, verse 7. Is that it? The spiritual man is mad. And then we're going to jump down to verse 8 and 11. I'm going to show you what happened. Because Mel Gibson, right, he did an awesome movie, Apocalyptos, right? That was probably like the best depiction on what y'all was actually doing. That's on a film. Y'all was going off. But before Mel Gibson wrote or made that movie, God already documented it in the Bible. Watch this, read this.
Hosea 9.
What you going to say?
I was going to say that Mel Gibson, yeah, that was kind of like, to me, was I know that we had certain killing and stuff, but I don't think there's no proof of.
We about to read the proof right now, because that ain't just Mel Gibson. He just put it on film. It's many books goes into what the Aztecs was doing when they were sacrificing to the sun god because they wanted rain. It's many books that goes into those things. And the first book is the Bible.
Right.
Let's just read this.
Hosea 9, verse 7.
That's what I want, yep.
The days of visitation are come. The days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it.
The days of recompense talking about God's judgment. God's judgment came on all 12 tribes, right? Mainly the northern kingdom tribe, but all of us got it, though, right? Watch this, read.
The prophet is a fool.
God said that the prophets, when they ain't keeping God's commandments, they're foolish as hell. And that's what was going on during the Aztec Empire. A lot of them, when they was worshiping different gods, they was foolish as hell. Be killing your own brother to get some rain. What sense that mean? Watch this, read on.
The spiritual man is mad.
Because a lot of northern kingdom, they consider themselves very spiritual, right? But God said, now y'all crazy as hell. Because remember, y'all came here to keep the commandments. Now y'all worshiping rocks, trees, earth, dirt, so on and so forth, right? God said the spiritual man went mad. Read.
For the multitude of thine iniquity and the great hatred.
So watch this. Jump down to verse 8 and 11. So God said the prophets was mad, right? Whatever the prophets do, that's what the people do. Whatever the kings do, that's what the people do, right? So if the prophets was mad, let's find out what they was doing. Watch this. Hosea 8 and 11.
Hosea chapter 8, verse 11. Because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin.
So Ephraim is talking about the entire northern kingdom, right? When y'all came here, y'all had all different type of pyramids that y'all took from Egypt and y'all brought here. And there was altars that y'all made to commit sin. Read.
Altars shall be unto him to sin.
So it says, okay, since y'all want to worship altars, that's going to be your stumbling block. Read.
Verse 12. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing.
So initially y'all was keeping God's laws, then it came a point where they became strange to y'all. Instead of regular animal sacrifice, y'all wanted to sacrifice y'all brothers. God's laws became strange to our people. Read.
Verse 13. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings and eat it.
They did what?
They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings and eat it.
That flesh ain't talking about cows and goats. That flesh was talking about our brother. Because you got other books where it says that y'all went heavily into cannibalism. So it says they sacrifice flesh on mine altars and eats it. Read.
But the Lord accepted them not.
And that's how you know that that wasn't the righteous sacrifice, because why wouldn't God accept it if it was animal sacrifice? Y'all was sacrificing y'all brothers. Read.
Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt.
They shall return to what?
To Egypt.
Did the northern kingdom go back to Egypt? Did God gather them all together and bring them back into Egypt? No, this Egypt is talking about something different. I'm going to show you what this is talking about. Watch this, read this.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2.
This Egypt ain't talking about over there with Pharaoh in them. It's talking about something a little different.
Exodus 20 verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So that Egypt that he said that y'all was going to go into was the house of bondage. So when Hernan Cortez and Christopher Columbus came over, they was coming to fulfill prophecy and enslave the Native Americans. That's what happened. Y'all went into slavery because y'all went off. Y'all broke God's law. And guess what? We still in slavery to this day. Right? We still in slavery to this day. Now the question is, how do we turn it all around? What you think the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom got to do to turn it all around?
No.
Give me that in Deuteronomy 30.
Yeah, we got to reconnect on the spiritual. That's for sure.
So give me your whole that. Give me Romans 7 and 14. You said we got to reconnect to what's spiritual?
To what's real, to God's law, the truth.
I got you. I like how you cleaned that up, but that's absolutely right. We got to reconnect to God's laws. That's what's spiritual. Now, everything else got spirits in it, but that ain't what God's talking about. We got to reconnect to.
Yeah, the creator's circle of life, which is truth.
Right.
Which is man, woman, and child. Not man and child, and woman and child, which is all false.
I got you. When we keep God's laws, all that's going to be set in order. The man, the woman, the child, Christ, God, all that's going to be set in order. Don't focus on that. Focus on the laws. Watch this. Read this.
Romans chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
So God's law has always been spiritual. It's always been spiritual. So when you say we got to reconnect to what's spiritual, what you're saying without even saying it is we got to come back to keeping God's laws. John chapter 8, verse 32, and give me Psalms 119 and 142, and I'm going to give you a law that you can take with you, all right? Watch this.
It's the book of John.
Chapter 8, verse 32.
John chapter 8 and verse 32.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Christ said out of his own mouth, once we learn the truth, it's going to make us free, right? Once we learn what the truth is, that's what's going to free us up from the things that we caught up in, right?
Psalms 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
You see what the truth is? What's the truth? Read it again.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
So God's righteousness is everlasting. I mean, it's going to be here when we go, or when this world is going. It's God's righteousness going to be here, right? Read.
And thy law is the truth.
What's the truth? So the law is the truth. The law is spiritual. The law is what we got to keep. That's what's going to turn us back to reconnect us with God. Leviticus 21 and 5. I'm going to give you one real quick. You might have never heard this before. What's your name? Brother Al? Brother Albert. What's your name, son? Okay, got you. I got one for you, and I got one for you, all right?
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
So another thing is spiritual, right, is when a man grows out his beard. God gave us a beard for a reason, right? And he gave it to us for us to grow it out. So when we shave it off, guess what? We intervene with that spiritual connection. So when you're saying that we need to be spiritual, part of your steps of spirituality, grow your beard out. Right. Christ had a beard, the Father had a beard, God gave a beard to the Israelites. Grow that out. Because guess what? When you keep the beard, it separates you from the other nations. Watch this, read on.
They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
That's going into tattooing, right? Read.
Verse 6. They shall be holy unto their God.
You see what the beard make you? Did you catch it? It says it's going to make you holy unto your God. So when you grow out your beard, that's a form of you being holy, right? That's what the Bible says.
What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example.